We are just working on some tech stuff today because I've had nothing but technical issues. So it'll be some small talk for as long as it takes me to figure everything out, make sure everything is good to go. Let's see here. So we're if you close yeah. So we've had connectivity issues for no apparent reason over our two streaming days. Docs, let's see. Chats. Okay. Let's get this up here. I need it there. Let's see. Where are you? Thank you. There we go. Okay. So that seems to be squared away. That seems to be everything seems to be connected. Okay. So I'm running just to give you dang, that's a lot of my ear. Just to give you a general idea. I'm running some diagnostics right now, trying to figure out what exactly happened over the past 2 days. Sunday, we were live streaming for Alma Swim and Coca Soul. They were doing an event together, and I'm not 100% sure that it was because of the influx of people here for the air show. Because when I got home, ran it, it was just fine. And then last night, I could not connect to our two Facebook social media pages, but I could connect to the Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. But then all of a sudden, I lost connection with those. So I'm running some diagnostics. I really didn't get to talk about my experience as a competitor for the ESA regionals. I really wanted to talk about that, but like I said, I was having a bunch of issues. And so I'm running some diagnostics, just playing with it for a short period of time to make sure everything is square because we are live streaming the Eddie this weekend, and I'm not going in there with my pants around my ankles. So while I'm doing that, I am going to talk about the ESA regionals as a competitor. That was quite interesting. It really was. The good things, all the surfers gave their hearts and did the very best they could with the conditions. It was rough. I am still sore. Like my back, my back muscles and my shoulders. Not sore like it hurts, but sore like I hit a good workout because it really was. And then I surfed Sunday and yesterday, but still. As a individual who is competing in it, I always enjoy when Phil commentates. This go around, he had his boy up there and did a good job. It wasn't Phil, but you could see the potential there, and it was great. It was really good to have Phil and Son up there, commentating, going back and forth, and things of that nature. Let's see. However, and of course, this could be because it's my very first regionals. I didn't quite understand why we didn't have the beach marked off. Because typically with surf competitions, you're going to have your out of bounds zones. I understand we didn't run double beaches. Good. I'm really glad they didn't run double beaches. one, that would have been hellacious for the judges and the commentating, and two, just because of the surf conditions, it would have been much, too much. Let's see. The other thing I didn't understand, and I made a couple posts about it. Um, I don't understand how you go to a district and not show them love. That I didn't understand at all. But again, I don't run it. It's not mine. Um, maybe there's some bad blood. I don't know. And this is coming as a competitor, and we all noticed it. Well, everything. My log analysts look good. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's see. Let's do a full diagnosis. Issues. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so I do have two issues, but nothing that's going to cause me to not connect. No. Okay. So well, and I had no updates. So the only possible issue was, and I've never run an out of administrator. But maybe that was the issue. So who knows? So all that's good. So we're gonna do another diagnosis here in a minute. Just let it run. Um, experience wise, great experience to get in a competition like that. Well, to make it to that competition and to surf it was fun. I know there were a lot of people that weren't sure of the conditions, um, and there's a ton of us that beg for. Yeah, yes, it was kind of sloppy. It's not the perfect wave, but vast majority of us just want to get out there in big wave and surf, even if it's slop, even if it's tough conditions. You can't have the perfect wave every single time. It's just not possible. Um, and frankly, it's annoying to try to push competitions to where it's peak epicness, perfectness every time. It's not how you get better. I call that bougie surfing. Um, and again, my experience as a competitor, um, take it how you want it. Overall, I give it, out of 100, give it about an 80. Um, there are some things I would have liked to have seen different. Um, and this is overall. This isn't just targeting one person or persons. You know, I've been to a lot of events. I understand when you get to a high competition like this, there's got to be some sort of professionalism, but at the same time, it wasn't warm. When you were at the competitor level and talking with each competitor and the parents and stuff like that and the different districts, yes. As a whole, it wasn't very warm and welcoming. And I'm not saying they were, oh, get away. It just was, I hate the word vibes. I'm not a vibe person, but I can't think of a different word. The whole vibe of it all, um, on a higher level, was kind of tense, was kind of tight. You could feel it. I got there early Friday, and you could just feel it. And again, I wasn't a part of it on the business side of it. I wasn't a part of it running it just as a competitor. It was, I could feel it. And I'm more in tune to stuff like that just because of my background and business and stuff like that. Let's see if we have any crash reports. No, none at all. I'm stumped. I'm completely stumped. I mean, I'll give it another opportunity. I think we might move to Starlink. I'm not a fan of using Starlink type internet because it is slower. Their upload speeds, and that's important, FYI, when you're running live streaming, especially on a beach. Um, Upload speed is very important. You have to be above a certain threshold for you not to have issues. And I know a lot of other companies use it, but if you look at the numbers, and that's what I look at, so I'm not 100% sure. No. Let's upload again. Okay. But again, like I said, I'm not nagging on anything. It's just what I experienced. You know, when you go to these surf competitions, it's always going to be huge camaraderie between us surfers and even the districts. I haven't really been to one surf competition as a surfer or as a sponsor that it's just been atrocious to be at on that level. Now, how they're run and different aspects of that, yes, I've been to a couple that I'm just like, yeah, I have no desire to ever come back again. Not just as a surfer, but as a businessman. And I always give people the opportunity to clean things up, and if they want my input, I give it to them. Well, everything good is on the okay. Everything's good then. The only thing I can think of is a lot of times with when you're streaming and you're using multiple programs, sometimes there's a communication error, and I'm going to chunk it up to that's what it was because I am streaming no issues right now, not at all. And I don't think it was a overload because too many people were here. I really don't. I literally think it was just a communication issue between the software programs because I'm just fine now. Um, with that being said, let's just, as a surfer, you go to these competitions to get noticed, to get better, to have fun. And when the vibe isn't there, we all notice. Jeez, I can't type this morning. Let's see. Okay. Now the real question is that going to pop up for everything else or is it just? I have had some typing issues. It's showing that it's gone through on everything. Steeper images. What's up? What's up, Chief Metalhead? Do you think the level of coolness you felt was due to the high level of competition? Cool. Elaborate on your coolness comment. Because I'm kind of taking that, and why that didn't pop up on here. Oh, it's because it's separate. Okay. Sorry, I'm just now seeing it. Steeper, your comment. Um, it That's the one that I don't see. um, on my system for Instagram. Um, your question was, do you think the level of coolness you felt was due to the high level of competition and not everyone knowing each other? I'm kind of thrown for a loop on that. Do you mean like coldness, or do you, because you mentioned earlier you felt it? Not between the surfers, not between the districts. I felt some tension above all that. Um, and again, when I say that, it's just I'm pretty in tune to things, and I felt like there was something was going on behind the scenes. I don't know if it was animosity. I don't know if maybe there was some communication I don't know. I just felt as if something was off. Um, and again, that could be just because on the business owner standpoint, I tend to be in tune with those things, um, or because I'm pretty good at watching people and dissecting what I see. Um, Overall, though, it didn't really it did, but it didn't affect the competition itself. It just it made my radar go off. Um, and again, it could just be that's my first regionals. That could be how all the regionals are run. Um, and that could be the vibe for all the regionals. I'm going to go on a limb and say that's not the case. I'm willing to go on a limb and say there was something that we just didn't know about, but I felt it. I absolutely felt it. And of course, I'm there to compete and to support everybody else. And so I really didn't pay much attention to it because we were there to surf, compete, earn our spots, and support one another. And I let it go. Um, I don't know. It was weird. It was just very weird. I could feel it. I could see it. It got better towards the end. But again, like I said, I've got wires everywhere. Um, there was something. There was something up. Um, but it wasn't enough to make me say I'd never want to do this again. And quite frankly, um, that was an amazing event. The support we all have for one another as surfers, parents, and competitors, and districts. Um, each district, like the North District, you had some people come down from California, or not California, Georgia, and I think there was a South Carolina there. I'm not 100% sure. Um, so I would say it was a success. Absolutely, it was a success. Well, see, that makes me happy to know. No, what you felt is the exact same thing I felt and many others felt. But I'm glad it wasn't enough to deter everybody. But no, no. There is going to be some, districts wanting to beat other districts and that level. Um, and that's totally normal and okay. It's, it's a competition. We are supposed to want to beat other districts. We are supposed to want to come out with the most wins. The great thing I discovered about that is um, I I'd like to say on a level that I'm pretty chill and cool with other districts, and other competitors and stuff like that from other districts. So I never once got the feeling that there was animosity between the districts. Um, Never. Um, I think with that being your guys' first big level surf event competition, that may have been confused because I mean, you could look at high school sports and stuff like that, and college and NFL. Um, you may not like a different district, but we're all there with the same goal in mind. But I like to tend to believe our state in particular the districts that we have here and the type of surfers that we have here that compete in the different districts are above that. So no, I think what we were all feeling was stemming from the powers that be from up top, whatever that may have been, or down below. I don't know, but again, none of us were there, especially me. Um, I was there as a surfer, as a supporter and competitor, not as a business guy. So none of this is coming from like my personal business. This is coming from my personal opinion as a competitor and surfer. So, and of course, like I said, it's not. I'm not being negative. I'm just expressing what I didn't get to express last night because of all the technical issues. And I think it's important. At the end of the day, I think it's important that we all represent our districts to the best of our ability and be as respectful as we can. Quite frankly, because we're the ones with the power. If none of us ever sign up for a surf competition again, surf competitions are the ones that fold, not us. So I think it's important that surfers in general don't read too much into it unless it's something major. It's just from my standpoint, it I notice these things. So, and speaking of that, your daughter did fantastic. That was an amazing. She put a huge fight up and was competing against literally some of the best girl longboard surfers we have, and she hung in there. So that was pretty fantastic. I'm just flabbergasted that I nothing has come back wrong for my diagnostics. Nothing. There is literally nothing wrong. I don't get it. And the only other issue that could have been was running it as the administrator, but I've never run it as the administrator. I've always just logged in straight into my software programs and go. So I, I'm assuming I'm assuming I was right. It's either all of a sudden is an administration problem or it's just bad communication. And maybe I should have well, I did completely restart. um Thank you. Absolutely. I know I don't have a surf school. I know I'm not looked at as like a coach per se. Um Fun fact, that's actually what I was going to get my degree in when I first got out of the army was coaching and teaching. I think it's called kinesiology, or it used to be. Um, so the capacity is there. I just never did it. And we have so many quote unquote surf schools here and coaches here that I'm more of there for personal support, and I'm working on some things in the background. Um, but yeah, I like to think that I bring a different view and a look and a different approach than some of our phenomenal coaches in our area. I bring a different perspective and a way to deliver it that's a little different. So, you know, just the fact that I get to be there and support whoever wants it is enough for me. And I'm so stoked when I see, like your daughter and other kids, putting it together, getting it out there. And I think the biggest thing for me as a support mechanism is seeing them run head first into something that they have fear for. I think that's one of the most important things in surfing. Um, a lot of these kids, and even adults, they let the fear overpower them instead of taking it on head first. And that can completely ruin your surfing experience. So you could tell she got out there and she was a little tad bit nervous, just by watching her body, and and towards the end she was tired and there was that fear kept keeping her on top of the wave instead of dropping in. But, that's really what I'm here for. So, tell her to keep doing what she's doing. Go all in. She'll be fine. Let's see. I'm going to do one more scan just to see, cuz it's really weird. Usually when you have connectivity issues, and the weird thing is I had no crash reports for any of it. It just would not connect. So, and again, maybe that was on the internet side of things, uh, and it could have been. But last night, maybe Sunday, that's what it was. That's the only thing I could think of. But then to have the very same issues last night, I don't know. So, no, I don't want to see them. I want to upload them. Log upload. Upload. And I will say this. I thought the judging was pretty spot on. There were one or two waves that, and not for me, for other surfers, that may have been a little low. But that's going to be at every competition. That really is. Um, in a vast majority of the competitions, it's a pretty big issue. Um, However, at regionals, it was not a big issue to have that many heats, that many surfers, that kind of weather, that kind of conditions, and really, I can say two waves for two different surfers, in my opinion, um, that were judged low is a pretty big deal. That's pretty close as perfection as you can get. And I think one of them was not even in our district, so there's no bias when I speak, because like I've said, and I've done it to my daughter in other competitions. I'll go up once I'm comfortable, and I know the judges and the competitions and stuff like that, and I do it privately. I'm like, no, guys, that too high for her. I will throw my own kids under the bus when it comes to right and wrong, because I'm not raising my kids, especially my daughter, up in the surfing world for participation trophies and things to be handed to her. If she earns it, give it to her. If she doesn't, do not. And I've had a couple judges here and there. Well, she's doing fantastic, and I'm like, yes, I know, but she's at the point now to where she is really understanding and grasping when she does good and when she does bad. And she's flat out told me a few times, Daddy, how did I win? I didn't, I shouldn't have won. So if you got a 5-year old, and she'll be 6 in a month and a half, noticing, I feel like I'm doing my job, because I'm from the generation of you earn it. Now, that's a different situation. Like my situation, I'm going to throw myself under the bus. Okay, that was my 5th analyzer. Nothing wrong. Everything is fine. I have a few tips that I could do, but nothing for connectivity. So, apparently, my tech issues over the past 2 days are because of the Matrix. We'll just toss it to that. We'll know this weekend. I can't swap service providers right now. Anyways, if you want to sponsor and help us get the equipment, um, you're more than welcome, and we will throw you up on our sponsor list. If you're curious about what our pricing is for our sponsorship levels, one, you can hit me up and ask me, and two, you can download it. I have files on all of our social media platforms. And I really won't turn anybody away. I have to have a base foundation for sponsorship tiers. So a dollar is a dollar. um, so I won't talk much longer because, like I said, this was primarily for testing everything, seeing if I could figure out what the tech issues were. Apparently, I didn't have any, even though I couldn't connect. So I'll say this: right place, right time. I'll use me an example. Am I at the skill set, the tier level that I should be competing in now, Easterns? No, no. I have the heart for it and have the desire for it. But am I of that? Me personally, do I believe I'm at that skill set level? Absolutely not. Our local competition, sure. But this is the most beautiful thing about this sport. And I'm saying sport, not free surfing as in the lifestyle, but surfing competition wise. Right place, right time. I put in my time for my local surf competitions for Central ESA. I gained the points. I put in the money. I put in the time. I put in the practice. I got the points that I needed. And I showed up. A lot of times, that's all it takes. Because if you're serious about it, you can then, like I did, you can go back and watch the clips, analyze the pictures. Really, the videos are what help you grow more. So if you can snag some videos from your pop-up to when you're crashing, you're going to learn so much more from that. Then you're going to learn so much more for being in the competition itself, that because it's a whole different feel. Surfing my local Central ESA competition versus having all the districts there for regionals and having every eye on you in rough conditions is a whole different level, and you learn. So my 2 cents to you guys, and I'll end with this because I'm not doing a whole podcast. Put in the work. Don't be scared. If it legitimately is too much, and if you're ever wondering at a surf competition if it's too much, come to me and I will honestly tell you. I will tell you, yeah, it's a little much. Safety wise, I'm always going to go out. I don't care. I mean, unless it's like 50 feet because I'm not surfing Nazaré. I would love to, but my skill level will not let me do that. But for what we're going to get here, it's worth it, especially this weekend. It was not super. It got drifty at the end, and it did get pretty unorganized. Just go out, take the beating, learn what you need to learn, because that right there may be your ticket to the next level. And I'm a prime example. So thanks for listening to me chit chat while I worked on some tech issues and run some diagnostics. If you're interested in any of our sponsorship levels for our show, not just the show here, but also our live stream services that we provide for a few different competitions, hit me up. They are on my social media platforms. You can download the form. If you can't figure it out, I'll just send it to you. I'll probably test this again maybe later this evening or even tomorrow, not in administer mode, whatever. But we're as far as right now, we're a go for the Eddie this weekend. Everything seems to be running on all cylinders right now. I cannot explain the issues for Sunday, and last night. So, and regardless of that, even if we have issues, I will make sure that I do whatever I possibly can to bring you guys to the beach with us for the Eddie this coming up weekend. Daytona Board Store is running it. Really looking forward to it. I missed it last year. So, with that being said, ta-ta for now.